Just 2 rounds of the Slick 50 Formula Ford Championship remain, and just 11 points separate Jenson Button from his Meagull Racing teammate Derek Hayes. And with 12 points available for a win in each of the 2 races, there's everything to play for, with the additional pressure on Button of racing against the man who's been his teammate all season.
He's exactly the same as any other driver out there. I speak to him the same as any other driver out there in the pits, as a friend. But when we get on the circuit, it's completely different. He's another competitor, obviously. So he's the only other one that can win the title. So.
Jenson Button shares the front row with the battling Nick Chiesa. Hayes, Murray and Ambrose are right behind, so all the top 5 championship contenders are together on the grid as the lights go from red to green. 18 laps of the Oulton Park Foster circuit ahead of them, and a superb start from Nicholas Chiesa, forcing Jenson Button down the pit wall. Button's fighting back on the inside. Craig Murray's going around the outside at Old Hall Corner, and Button gets sideways in the middle of the pack. Another car runs wide. Yellow flags are being waved. It's Nicholas Chiesa who comes out ahead. Craig Murray in 2nd place. Marcus Ambrose 3rd. Hayes is 4th. Weldon is 5th. And Jenson Button right down 6th place, fighting at the tail of the lead group. And Daniel Weldon battling wheel to wheel with Derek Hayes there. Hayes gets the advantage. The number 18 car now set off in hot pursuit of Chiesa, Murray and Ambrose. 1, 2, 3 on the run up to Druids Corner. It's the red and white of Denmark heading the field through Druids up to Lodge. Still the battle going on for 4th, 5th and 6th, and that will be a very disappointed number 16, Jenson Button, demoted to the tail of the pack. And he's got a battle on his hands now. Look at the cars behind him. Robert Collard challenges into Lodge Corner. Both cars lock their tyres. Tom Sisley takes a look down the inside, and off goes Robert Collard. Simply outbraked himself into the gravel trap, out of the race. Across the line at the end of the opening lap, though, it's Nicholas Chiesa, number 20, heading the field. 3 Van Diemen's. Then the best of the Meagull cars, and that is Derek Hayes' car, number 18. So it's Chiesa, Ambrose and Murray, 1, 2, 3, up into 4th place. Daniel Weldon now, so it's 4 Van Diemen's at the head of the field. And the Tasmanian Marcus Ambrose has all the pressure from the Scotsman Craig Murray behind. They, in turn, are both putting the pressure on Nicholas Chiesa, but Chiesa pulling away now as they climb up to Druids Corner again. Double apex right-hander, 100 miles an hour at the entrance, balancing the car, flipping the apex once, running wide, flipping the apex a second time. Critical to the speed, down to Lodge Corner. This is the great overtaking opportunity, but not this time for Craig Murray. Stays in the slipstream of Marcus Ambrose, and both of them continue their pursuit of Nicholas Chiesa. Out of Lodge Corner, down to the asleep, absolutely inch perfect, right up to the edge of the Armco, bringing them out across the line now. Chiesa still leads, and closing in this time, Marcus Ambrose now starting to put the pressure on the Dane. Craig Murray still in that 3rd place, and closing in on him, the number 1 car of Daniel Weldon. Then the battle on now for 5th and 6th places, Hayes and Button. Meanwhile, a little bit out of shape there for Craig Murray. That's given Weldon a chance to challenge for 3rd. In the meantime, Ambrose is challenging the leader. Craig Murray still holding on in that 3rd place. And the battle on for the lead as well. Number 3, Marcus Ambrose from Tasmania, right now on the tail of Chiesa. Chiesa closes the door. Ambrose 2 wheels on the grass up Clay Hill, and still presses home his challenge. Through the right-hander at Druids again. Fastest exit point on the circuit, and closing in on both of them now. Craig Murray with behind him another battle now. Weldon, Hayes and Button completely locked together. 4th, 5th and 6th. And Jenson Button has to improve on that place. He has to get past his rival in the championship, his teammate who's in front of him. Meanwhile, across the line, it's still Chiesa heading the pack. And again, Ambrose takes a look out of the slipstream. Chiesa dives across to defend. A nudge on the back of Chiesa's car. This is really physical stuff. Up over the crest, down the avenue. Chiesa holds on in the race lead. And it's the 4 Van Diemen's, 2 Meagull cars, absolutely locked together into Foster's. And this time a dive through by Marcus Ambrose. Chiesa goes wide, he drops to the tail of the group. He is back down fighting for 5th place, now for 6th place. It's all change. Ambrose, Murray, Weldon, Button up to 4th, Hayes is 5th. And poor Nicholas Chiesa dropped to the tail of them in 6th place. Now Marcus Ambrose still has mirrors full of racing cars though, because Craig Murray is absolutely locked onto his tail like a heat-seeking missile. Then it's the 2nd of the factory Van Diemen cars, Daniel Weldon, who's looking out of the slipstream. And it's 3 cars abreast into Lodge Corner, 3 into 1 normally doesn't go, but somehow they all get through. but up around the outside, a superlative move into second place for Daniel Weldon. Down into third comes Craig Murray, and the cars are weaving, blocking and jostling all the way down to Oulton corner. Number 3, Marcus Ambrose leads from number 1, Daniel Weldon. Then is Craig Murray in third. Jenson Button, though, trying to put the pressure on to move up. And the 2 factory Van Diemen's locked together. There's bodywork flying. And one of the cars has gone. Which one is... Oh, dear me. Backwards into the tyre wall for one of the factory Van Diemen's. Now, which one is it? It's Marcus Ambrose. Daniel Weldon now leads the race from Craig Murray. Then the 2 Miguel cars. And Jenson Button has dropped to 4th place with Derek Hayes ahead of him. Now a replay of the accident. And, well, the 2 Van Diemen teammates, Daniel Weldon hooked the tail of Marcus Ambrose's car with the nose of his. But there, the car out of control, down into the tyre wall. Luckily, no injury to Marcus Ambrose, but a very, very big impact at the Cascades corner. Meanwhile, this is the battle for 3rd, 4th and 5th. Derek Hayes, Jenson Button and Nicholas Chiesa. They've all had their chance at the head of the field, but at the moment, ahead of them both, it's still Daniel Weldon and Craig Murray. But the pressure is on between the 2 teammates. Don't forget, number 18, Derek Hayes, number 16, Jenson Button, are both fighting for the championship. And Jenson Button desperately wants to get ahead. Meanwhile, number 1, Daniel Weldon, leads Craig Murray, and Jenson Button makes his attack on Derek Hayes. Hayes tries to hold the racing line, and he's losing ground as well to Nicholas Chiesa. So this battle for 3rd, 4th and 5th turns on its head. It's Jenson Button now back up into that 3rd place. Nicholas Chiesa, initial race leader, is in 4th, and Derek Hayes is dropping away from the 2. Now I wonder if Derek Hayes has some sort of a mechanical problem there, because he slowed very quickly. And it could be that Hayes, as well as being forced offline in that battle, maybe has done some damage to something like a gearbox. But he's back on the pace already, closing in on Nicholas Chiesa. So all is well with the 2nd of the Miguels. The championship battle stays wide open. Meanwhile, extending their lead at the head of the field, it's Weldon from Murray. And then it's anybody's race for 3rd place. Jenson Button still holding off the pressure from Nicholas Chiesa and from Derek Hayes. Across the line for the leaders, on to the last lap of the race, and it's not over yet, because Craig Murray is closing in again on the number 1 car. Daniel Weldon looks nervously in his mirrors as they head off down the avenue for the final time. Takes the perfect racing line through Cascades, now down into the Foster's corner. Craig Murray tiny behind. Now this is where Murray had the advantage on the last 2 laps. The run up Clay Hill, through Druids, up to Lodge Corner. But it's not going to happen. Craig Murray is pulling off. Well, what a bitter blow for the Scot. He'd driven the perfect race all the way through. Now Jenson Button, though, is in with a chance of challenging for the lead. He's trying. He's very late on the brakes in Lodge Corner, and he's off. Jenson Button is off and out of the race, all on his own across the line. Daniel Weldon takes the victory, and Jenson Button throws away his chance of clinching the championship. 2nd place across the line, Derek Hayes, Nicholas Chiesa 3rd, and that will mean that the championship will only be decided in the final round at Silverstone, and Derek Hayes could still take the title.
Obviously, me and Jenson were together, and once he got past Nick, he motored on. Obviously, I was struggling to get past Nick, but I think if I had gotten behind Jenson, I could have stuck with him and pulled back up to the rest. But obviously, that helps the championship now with him crashing and me finishing the race. I don't know what happened up ahead, but you know, I'm going to try my best, to try to win the championship now with 2 races left. You know, I've come this far, and I'm never going to give up. Just going to try my best.
To make things even more interesting, the drivers now drop their 2 worst scores, so it's only 1 point in it into the final round.